The longest reigning monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, died Thursday at the age of 96. While people around the world mourn her death, many in Texas are remembering her trip to Texas more than 30 years ago. In May of 1991, Queen Elizabeth and her husband, Prince Philip, took a trip to Texas as a part of a 13-day trip through the United States. She started her visit to the Lone Star State in Austin. Texas Governor Ann Richards greeted her as hundreds of people poured onto the steps of the Capitol.
No state commands such fierce pride and loyalty. Lesser mortals are pitied for their misfortune in not being born Texans. That sense of confidence and optimism is a priceless asset in an increasingly competitive world. Some of the heroes of the Alamo were migrants from Britain, as were many of the people who settled your land.
Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II, and His Royal Highness, the Duke of Edinburgh, and their party are at the door of this house.
She later received 6 pairs of Fort Worth crafted boots for her grandchildren. Next stop, San Antonio. They started their trip at the Alamo, where they received a tour of the mission. The two also rode a barge along the Riverwalk through the downtown area, with plenty of San Antonians celebrating the occasion. Dallas was next on the itinerary, as the city hosted the British Crown for the first time. The Queen was greeted by Dallas Mayor Annette Strauss and Mayor Kay Granger of Fort Worth.
For Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II and His Royal Highness, the Duke of Edinburgh.
Queen Elizabeth's first stop was at the Meyerson Symphony Center, where she also saw performances by a dance group from the Mexican state of Jalisco. Later in the day, the Queen was off to the Dallas Garden Center for some tea time.
I would just like to say thank you very much indeed for this really beautiful gift, which will always remind us of today, and we will both treasure very much indeed.
City leaders also had the Queen join them in celebration of Dallas's 150th birthday.
First of all, I want to congratulate you, Madam Mayor, and all the citizens of Dallas on the 150th anniversary of the founding of your city. I doubt whether John Neely Brown, even in his wildest dreams, ever imagined that his trading post on the Trinity River would grow into this great, energetic, and enterprising city. I can now begin to understand what one of my fellow countrymen meant when he reported that Texas, in the eyes of its inhabitants and in maps supplied to visitors, occupies all of the North American continent, but for a fraction set aside for the United States, Canada, and Mexico.
The royal couple's final leg was in Houston, where they were greeted by a performance of Home on the Range. Queen Elizabeth then went to the NASA Johnson Space Center, getting a tour of Mission Control, before seeing robotic food crews at work at a new veterans hospital. The Queen also got to attend a special gospel performance from the oldest black church in Houston. It was a historic 3-day trip that left many across Texas with memories they will never forget. In Dallas, I'm Jay Wallace.